All right, so this is the final design for my Rover project for MEC 203. Um, this is the Cyber M Mars rover. So the first thing is the exploded view of the robot, which you can see here. This is all the components used to make the robot. And then we can go through all of the motion studies. First, just a look at the entire robot, full 360 around it. So the first motion study we have is the wheels. So if we look over here, slow it down, we have full rotation of all 6 wheels on the robot. So these wheels are connected to the axle shaft, which is part of the suspension of the robot. These are connected using a 30mm free-running fit, which is used to securely fasten the wheels to the suspension, while also allowing for some space for the wheels to rotate freely. The next motion study we have is the solar panels that are connected to the back of the body of the robot. So the motion study for these is just the rotation of each solar panel, which we can look at right here. So these are able to rotate freely back and forth 20 degrees from the origin. This is just to allow them to absorb as much sunlight as possible while on the surface of Mars. Um, so there was a pin joint used for these, which was a 40mm easy running fit, which is just to securely fasten them to the chassis while also allowing them to rotate freely. The next motion study that we have is the arm, the grabber arm. So we can show off that. So there are multiple points of, I guess, movement on this arm. So on the bottom we have the rotation, which is connected to the body or the chassis of the robot. So this can rotate a full 360 degrees. Right above that we have the first pin joint connected to this arm, which can rotate more than 180 degrees. We have the same joint here that connects the first arm to the second arm. This can rotate even more than 180 degrees. This smaller arm connected up here can actually rotate a full 360 degrees, because when this grabber part is rotated, it can become flush with that smaller arm and then fully rotate 360 degrees. And then finally, we have the rotation of the grabber itself, which will allow for the robot to grab onto any object with any orientation that it needs. Each of these larger joints is a 75mm, oh, I'm sorry, um, uh, a 60mm close running fit. And the smaller one up here for the fingers is a 30mm fit. Both of these are close running fit, just to allow for the robot arm to move when it needs to. The fourth motion study is also part of the arm, and if we look at that, that is just a very simple motion study of the grabber mechanism. So these can just open and close when needed to grab onto any object. And then finally we have the camera, which is right here on the top of the rover body. So right now it is fully like flush with the top of the rover, which will allow the arm to rotate the full 360 degrees. When the camera is needed, it is able to extend upwards while rotating. So the camera has a full 360-degree view of everything around it, while also able to extend to see further away and get clearer images of things. So that is the Cyber M Mars rover.